The internet is full of traps. Every time you log in onto a social media, you see a person doing something really cool. Maybe you see somebody making cool drawings and you think to yourself, man, I wish I could do that. Then you scroll. You see someone riding a motorcycle and you think to yourself, only if I could ride one too. Then you go on scrolling. You go on seeing people with their hobbies and their happy faces, while you frown inside. At the end of the session, you think to yourself, if only I had hobbies that were so fun. Our brains are naturally drawn towards the prospect of having multiple hobbies. But in the pursuit of getting everything, you will end up having nothing. Thus, it becomes crucial to identify and invest your time on only those hobbies that are important, that are relevant, that are worth pursuing. So how do you know if a hobby is worth pursuing? Well, it needs to fulfill two criteria. 1. The hobby should be meaningful to you. And 2. The hobby should be valuable to the world around you. While the second one is optional, the first one is absolute. You should not waste your time and energy in a hobby that does not mean anything to you. Don't just pick up a hobby that is trending in social media right now and start doing it. Just imagine me doing crochet works. It would be terrible because although being trendy and cool, crocheting doesn't mean anything to me. Now, if you list those hobbies that fulfill these criteria, you will still have a bunch of them, maybe even a dozen. It'll still look overwhelming. But don't worry, I have 2 instruments for you to use. But we will come to that later. First, what you gotta do is divide all the hobbies that you listed into 2 segments. One comprising of hobbies that is meaningful to you, and the other has the hobbies that mean something to you and also provide some value to the world. For example, my list might have MMA, lifting weights, riding a bike, reading fiction, and drawing in the meaningful segment, and photography, videography, editing, and writing goes in the valuable section. These 5 I do for my own satisfaction, and with these 4 I put something out in the world. Now, let's stack these skills. To stack skills, you need to find interdisciplinary connections within the skills that you have selected. For example, MMA and writing do not complement each other, but MMA and lifting does go hand in hand. Reading and writing are also highly complementary hobbies. This will help you categorize the skills, which makes it easier to manage them. This can also help you while you are transitioning from one skill to another and even start a whole new skill in itself. For example, if I learn a bit of photography, composition and manual camera settings, when I transition into learning videography, these basic skills are gonna come in handy. And if I combine writing, photography, videography and editing, I can start my YouTube channel, which is a skill in itself. The bad news is, you only have 24 hours. Which brings us to a sad but most important instrument, the skill graveyard. You wouldn't be able to pursue all the hobbies together, so you need to keep some in the graveyard, either because of the activity being too low priority or too demanding. For example, I don't have a professional camera, so professional photography is out of the question. Same case with riding the bike. On the other hand, it's really easy for me to learn a bunch of spinning kicks or other cool moves in martial arts, but I voluntarily chose not to, because it is not a high priority thing for me right now. However, there might be some that does not require high input and also is a high priority activity. Unfortunately, sacrifice is inevitable. But you can definitely have hobby seasons, which is a topic for another video. As for the structure in which you will learn these, it will be based on the priority of the activity and the level of stacking possible with them. And you can learn 2 hobbies simultaneously. Pick one from segment A and one from segment B. Learning them will take time. However, it is never too late to start.